Hello and welcome. Welcome to the entity experiment. I'm really excited today. We're actually going to experiment. So on Tuesday, we had creating with entities. Today, I called it working with entities just to look a little different, but it's pretty much the same thing. Except for the conversation's a little different in that I would like for us to practice together today. But first of all, if anybody that's here was here on Tuesday and practiced in the last couple of days, please go ahead and feel free to comment and let me know how that was for you. And then before I forget, because I always forget this part, if you like these videos, give them a thumbs up, comment, subscribe. I have this target to be doing some of these entity experiments, maybe even working with entities and clearing entities in different places around the globe. And I need 1,000 followers to get there. So if you know of anybody who might be interested in this, it might be fun for them, please feel free to share it as well. And how fast can we get to 1,000? What else is possible? Good mid-afternoon, yes. What can we create today? Listen to last Thursday's again, and wow, cool. So yeah, last Thursday was the first time we did the experiment part. Up until now, I've been sharing a lot of information and speaking to questions and things that have been happening for people. So also, if there's ever a topic that you'd like me to talk about or you'd like a little bit more information on, please feel free to type it in the comments. And I'm happy to address it. I may address it during that particular call or Zoom, Facebook Live, no, YouTube Live. There's so many different ones right now. Or I'll save it for another one if it's appropriate for another conversation. So, but thank you for all of you being here. Cool. Patricia says, how can we tell what the difference is between our intuition, hearing from our team? Doesn't matter. Great question. What do you know? Do you think it matters? I'll give you a hint. No, it doesn't matter. So let's just look at it this way, right? Let's look at it this way. If we're all one, if there's a oneness and the kingdom of we, does it matter if your inner guidance comes from a specific spiritual team member or your higher self or your intuition? It doesn't. Now, I will say this, I'll re-emphasize this because I think this is important. Sometimes we forget. Your team, one, will never interfere. So unless you're asking them for help or contribution, they're not going to interfere with your life and your choices because you get to choose what works for you. The other thing is your team will never talk negatively to you. They will never have anything to say to you that isn't encouraging, uplifting, right? If it's negative or disempowering, it's not you and it's definitely not them. Okay, so just FYI, your team is here to empower you, and they will never do anything other than that. So if you're hearing a lot of negative self-talk in your brain, I'd go into question, but it probably is a demon. And you can fire the demons. So cool. Awesome. Great. So has anybody played with creating with your entities, whether that be specific projects or talking to them about working with you on projects? Have you done that in the last couple of days since we talked last? I'll let everybody comment. It's okay if you didn't. It was just more of a question, like, did you actually practice? Did you try it on? Cool. So how do I want to do this? Why don't you tell me how you would like this to go? Are you wanting to, let's choose one. Let's choose one. So either we're working with our team today or we're working with a specific project today. Which one? Those of you who are here get to actually vote. Are we wanting to work with a project? That could be a business, a painting, a book, a creative project of any type, program, or working with your team. Cool. I got 2 different votes for different people. Okay, there's a third person here. You get to take a vote. Cool. The third person gets to take a vote, and that's going to be the tiebreaker. So we're voting on whether we're working with a project today or we're working with a team today. I can't actually even see who's here unless you comment. So I'm like, the third person, whoever the third person is. I adore you guys. Thank you for coming here anyway, and thank you for being here and engaging with me. Makes it a little bit more fun and easier. Cool. Okay. Awesome. Cool. You guys are so cute. Okay, so now we're like, oh, well, whatever you want to go. Okay, so why don't we ask the universe? We'll ask the universe today. Since we don't have a tiebreaker. You guys are so awesome, though. Thank you for chiming in. Team, project, team, project, team, project, team, project. I think I'm going to go with team today. Because I also want you guys to get that whenever you're creating something, whether it be a business project or something, that you're never alone in the creation of it. So what if we worked with our teams today and then had them contribute to the projects, whatever they are, and then on Tuesday next week, we can do a practice working with, we can do an experiment working with projects specifically. How does that sound? Thumbs up? Cool. Okay. And your team can always contribute to your projects. So I say that a little bit different way. Okay. So if you are driving, don't close your eyes. If you can find a comfortable seat, go ahead and close your eyes. A lot of times just closing your eyes allows yourself to get present to what's going on instead of you being distracted by all of the outside stimulus, right? Because there's lots of outside stimulus. Cool. And say hello to your body. Invite your body as an entity in and of itself to also be a part of this experiment today. We're not going to leave it behind. We're going to include it in working with entities. And I'd like to begin today by let's create an energetic connection between you and your team. So imagine your entire spiritual team, all of the ones that are here to contribute to the life and living that you've asked for and that you're desiring to create. You can also ask all benefactors, all light beings that desire to contribute to the life you'd like to create, to come into the circle. Awesome. And now we're going to pull energy. Let's pull energy from the heavens, from the universe, through their crowns of their heads, provided they have heads. And then allow that energy to flow out their hearts, through your heart, out your back, and trickle it back. So you're pulling massive amounts of energy in through their crowns, out their hearts, through you, out your back, and then trickle that energy back to the crown, from your back to the crown of their heads. Right? So you're creating this communion, this connection. Notice already how much more you perceive being contributed to. Allow that energy that is coming through them and through you to touch every fiber of your being, to light up every molecule, every cell. And then out your back, and then trickle it back. Pull. Awesome. And then place in front of you a project or something that you've been desiring to create. It could be a book, a painting. It could even be a business, like an entity of the whole, right? The whole business. Now still pulling energy from the universe through them, out their hearts. Now through all of that energy is contributing to what it is that you've been asking for, what it is that you're desiring to create more of. And then pull that energy through you and trickle it back. Pull, pull, pull. So now perceive, maybe you see it, maybe you feel it, doesn't really matter, but perceive all of the energetic contribution that is coming from the universe, from your team, from the benefactors, to the project through you, so that you then get the memo. Your body gets the memo. This is what we're creating. This is what we're asking for. And then trickling that energy back. And then how that creates this. I love this word Cassie uses a lot. Convergence. Creates this communion between you, that project, and your team. And this is your ask. This is what you're asking for. Okay. Now, you can keep that energy running. You don't have to stop it, but let's just go on a practice run. So I want you to imagine that you are walking down a street. Let's just say down a street, right? And ask your team to show you where to go next. What matches the energy of the future that you'd like to create? What matches the energy of this project that you're asking to create? And as you walk down this street, it can be an imaginary street, doesn't have to be a street that you know, but we're just practicing following that energy. Because it's not always going to make sense in your head. It's not always going to be linear. Like, oh, I want to build my business, so that means I should call this many people today, right? So you're walking down the street and you get this nudge, this pull, this energetic ping that says, go here. And anything that doesn't allow you to trust yourself in this instance, will you destroy and uncreate at times of God's light? Right, wrong, good, bad, puck, putt, all nine shorts, boys, meons. If you've never heard the clearing statement, you can go to theclearingstatement.com and learn all about it. Okay, so follow that ping. Where does that ping take you? What do you see? What do you feel? What do you hear? What do you perceive? What are you aware of? And does that ping, does that stepping in that direction then send you in a different direction? Again, asking for whatever matches the energy of the future you'd like to create, this project you'd like to create. And then where do you go next? If you feel like you're starting to lose it, ask for that, the energy of what it is you'd like to create, to show you. Ask your team to show you. Show me. Maybe your team comes along and gives you a ride somewhere, or takes your hand, or gives you a little pull or a tug on your heart. Awesome. And where do you end up? What do you end up seeing? The other thing too, when you ask for your team to show you, to contribute to you, to guide you in a way, right? It's not always, I know I said this, but I really want you guys to get this. It's not always going to make sense. It's not going to make sense why you see a sign that has an arrow that points down an alley, and you go down the alley, and then the next thing you know, you're on a moped, and the moped is taking you to the Vatican. Like, right? It's not necessarily going to make sense right now, especially since we're doing a visualization piece, a practice piece. However, I really want to encourage you, whatever you just experienced, to take a few minutes and write it down, because there was something in that that was also part of what you were meant to get today. And it, again, because it was a practice in a way, there's still a message in it, but if there's a practice in a way, it's like, write down what happened and then ask your team to help you understand what that was about. And then just allow yourself to, and then this is, Alyssa, this is a great place to, once you've actually connected with your team, once you've actually spent this time doing something like this with your team, it's great time to write down what happened. And as you're writing down what happened, then start to free flow And what I mean by free flow is I free flow whatever words come in my head, and I'll just, I've had this happen before where it's like blue parrot was how it started. It was, and just wrote, and the words at first might seem silly, but then you'll notice all of a sudden you might be talking in full sentences. And then just allow them and ask them, right? It's always asking. Number one, to getting any awareness or any contributions or any more communion with your team and stuff is first asking. I desire to be more connected to you. I desire to know you better. Would you be willing to talk to me through free form writing? And then just be willing to sit and do it, right? I used to do it every morning, like 3 pages of, at first it seemed like gibberish, and then the next thing I know, I'm like, wow, this is pretty cool stuff. And stuff I couldn't actually make up. So if you're still in meditation Zen land, go ahead and begin to bring yourself back. And say hello to your body. And ultimately, that's why this is called the Entity Experiment, because it's about experimenting, but if this is something that a muscle that you really want to develop, you have to experiment with it. You have to practice. We can do little practices here and there together, and at the same time, that's actually kind of between you and your team and your projects and all that stuff. So I will gladly do projects on Tuesday. And I may bring in like a painting or something like that, just to kind of show you how I do it. Maybe we'll do it live in action. So again, I can't thank you enough for those of you who are here listening today, contributing, and for all of you in the future. I adore you, and I look forward to seeing you next time. Have a great weekend.